Oh, hello and wait a minute. Hi, hello and welcome to Matt Slam Sports, Bears Nation. Today we got the Bears draft, and with the 10th overall pick to the NFL draft, the Chicago Bears took Loveland, the tight end out of Michigan. And I'm just here to give my raw initial reaction to the pick. Now, going into the draft, I know that a lot of Bears Nation wanted to focus on the trenches, and to be honest, I was on the same boat. But if you look at who's available at 10, not too many good options, right? I mean, I want to be honest, I'm very disappointed. I wanted Gentry. Call this childish as you want. Here's my reaction to what actually happened.
Yeah. Keep booing like Jordan Love's any good, you.
Schedule for you as well. The schedule release will stream. Select Colston Loveland, tight end, Michigan. Colston Loveland.
Like what? Maybe we couldn't trade back. Oh. I hope in like 10 years we gonna look back on this and be like, wow, I can't believe he reacted like this. But man, I wanted Gentry.
And we're back. So first things first, I feel like it was pretty obvious who was gonna go first. You know, Cam Ward going first. Everyone knew it ever since like what, day 2 or 3 of the preseason. Then you got number 2. You got Travis Hunter going to the Jacksonville Jaguars. That one, I feel like the pick was normal, but the trade came out of nowhere for me. I didn't hear talk of this until maybe today, so it's pretty insane that that's actually what came to fruition. Third pick, you got Abdul Carter at the Giants. I would have loved to see him on the Bears, in a Bears uniform. I would have loved it. We're not trading the 3rd round pick with the 10th. We would have had to give up at least 2 firsts, like this year's and next year's, which is just insane for like a win now mentality that we really just can't afford. Then you got Will Campbell at 4. Fine, I like Armand Membu better. Like, oh my god, he has short arms. I don't really care. I just think Armand Membu would have been better as a right tackle than Will Campbell's left. That might be a hot take. Sorry. And then the 5th pick, the Cleveland Browns selected Mason Graham as the DT. Now, this was pivotal for the Bears draft. I think that the Jaguars trading up to the 2nd spot really porked over the Bears in the sense that the Jaguars would have been willing to trade down. I don't think the Browns will be. They can't afford to. You're already getting the draft assets you need because they got an absolute haul from the Jaguars, right? I think they got a future 1st, 2nd, and the 4th. Correct me if I'm wrong. But honestly, I don't blame them, right? You already got your draft capital. Why would you trade back twice? Unless the Bears are offering something absurd. So go ahead. Go take Mason Graham. If the Jaguars stayed, then the Bears would have had a really solid chance at getting that number 5 for cheap, but they didn't. And this pissed me off, not because I really wanted Mason Graham, even though I did really want Mason Graham. He is not a perfect prospect. I think he would have made an impact on day 1. Do I think he was going to be the greatest of all time? Not really. What made me mad is number 6, Ashton Gentry. I really wanted Gentry. I mean, you look at the guy, he is a natural superstar. And if you pair that with Caleb Williams, then, oh my god, the offense is unstoppable. And I think it lets you go in the rest of this draft with a comfort in your mind that we don't have to focus anymore on offense. We can build the trenches in the back. Because one thing people often forget is that our defense was only good because of Eberflus. And even if you look at that, our defense was struggling in the beginning. Considering how well we were playing, Montez Sweat barely had any sacks before Eberflus was fired. The defensive line needed work. I mean, pressure rate was good, but after Eberflus left, you really are left with not that much talent. On the defensive end, you got Montez Sweat, Kyler Gordon, and Jalen Johnson. Those are my 3 favorite players on defense, and really the 3 that make a big impact. Maybe I'm missing one. Maybe you consider Tyreek Stevenson as one. I personally don't think Tyreek Stevenson has that in him, but that's just my personal opinion. So with that, I feel like the Bears should have then prioritized the defensive end, right? Ashton Gentry's off the board. What do we do now? Well, let's make a defensive pick, right? See, the problem is, I don't really like any of the prospects outside of that. I think if I'm looking at my mock draft, we have Sherman Stewart, Mike Green, and Derek Harmon as the 3 next best. I'm not in love with any of those prospects. I look at some film, I'm not an analyst, but they're good, don't get me wrong, but they're not worth the 10th pick in the draft. You want a guy who's not only going to be a starter, but who's going to be a playmaker on every side of the ball. And let me keep going through the draft because I'll eventually get to it. But then we got the 7th pick. Armand Mambu goes to the Jets. A lot of people were saying the Bears should draft him. It would be great. I don't think so. I think Ryan Poles has invested enough into this offensive line that you shouldn't have to go out of your way to draft, one of these top talent guards, because this offensive line on paper already looks solid. Then the Carolina Panthers took McMillian. That's whatever. I don't like the pick. I think you could have picked a lot of different wide receivers who are equally as talented as McMillian. So, I mean, respect to the Panthers for trying to, build up their young quarterback in Bryce Young, but I'm not a big fan. And at number 9, we got the Saints taking Kevin Banks Jr. That one is a very understandable pick for this young team. I think that, anybody in that position would do the same thing. And then you got the Bears taking Loveland. I have no problem with Loveland. Let me clarify this. I think that he is the best tight end in the draft. I know there's people who are saying Tyler Warren is a dog, and he is, but I trust Ryan Poles' ability to draft. He's statistically the best at drafting in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd rounds, because I think 94.5% of his draft picks become starters in the NFL in the first 3 rounds, which is the highest out of any GM in the league. So I have complete faith that Ryan Poles made the right pick. So what's my issue with it? My issue is we have Cole Kmet. And last season, my biggest gripe with the Bears was their inability to use Cole Kmet to his fullest potential. I mean, if you look at the Jacksonville Jaguars game in London, where we played, Cole Kmet popped off. He basically won us the game. He had an amazing play where he went like, oh, and then he dove with like the football all the way in the back. He is a dog. So why are we drafting Loveland? I told you, I'm not a fan of Mikael Williams. I'm not a fan of, any of the Georgia guys, to be honest, in terms of drafting in like this top 10 tier. But I think we should have traded back. Now that's easier said than done. What I'm assuming happened is that there was not much people who wanted to trade up. The only people I could see trading up are the Steelers or anybody else who needs a quarterback. But besides that, it would be a really difficult time to try to get a better prospect than that. I completely understand that. Why did we take Loveland? I mean, you can see from my clip that I have, I'm pretty disappointed. I also say in the clip that I hope that I look back on this and be like, oh my god, why was I so upset? Like, I hope he's the next, I hope he's the next Travis Kelce. I hope he's the next Rob Gronkowski. I just think when you're investing this much into your offense, you're kind of neglecting the defense. Now, we do have Dennis Allen as a defensive coordinator, which is great. But it does worry me how little of a priority this is taking and how basically stagnant it has been, right? What additions have we made besides extending Kyler Gordon and extending TJ Edwards? Pretty much none. And as a Bears fan, that is very troubling to me. Also, this is the last thing I want to say before I go out. This is such a boring draft. Oh my gosh. I guarantee you, 90% of this list, we're going to look back and be like, wow, why did they take them so early? And there's going to be one person that's going to be good, and it's Ash and Jenny. I mean, this is a hot take. I'm just throwing it out. Don't hate on me. I think Travis Hunter's a little overrated. So I wouldn't be surprised if he was a bust. But that's my hot take. I'm not zipping it up. Also, I really didn't like Donald Trump had a little cameo. Like, bro, you just crashed the economy. Don't you have more important things on your hand? But that's all my thoughts on the draft. Thank you, Bear Nation. I will see y'all regular season. And thank you for calling Matt Time Sports.